The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, Glitch Lord, Bethesda.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan podcast that has episodes in between reviews.
That's right.
That's what this is. Today we're going to be talking about Bethesda, is that right?
Yep.
Little studio spotlight from Craig. We've all had a lot of good experiences with Bethesda. We've all had a lot of
the best,
not great experiences with Bethesda.
The worst.
So I'm excited to talk about it.
Very betrayed.
It was the best of games. It was the worst of games.
Yeah.
Exactly. They gave me the best of times and broke my heart.
Yeah. I feel so bad for everyone that bought that fucking
Fallout 76?
76, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that?
That's in part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Which will be at a later time.
So I guess we're doing the first half of their history. I think Craigie said it was up to Fallout acquisition.
Just basically right, like up to, it was 2007 when they got
Yeah,
that.
a lot of people don't like Fallout from them. There's like a lot of people that hate.
You know what's funny
Bethesda
about
Fallout.
that? They saved the Fallout series, so it's kind of their own fault. Because the company that, just a little spoiler, the company that made fucking Fallout in the first place, they went under. So, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
blame Bethesda.
It's not Bethesda.
No, it's not Bethesda. They bought them after the company went under. So,
Huh. All right. Yeah, so guys, Nude Clan, weekly gaming podcast. Also talk about other random shit. You can find us at numerous places on the internet. Twitch.tv/Nude Clan Gaming. We're going to be doing more streaming. We're going to try to. I know Cameron said he's going to do.
Hopefully come out with a streaming schedule so you can see what games we're planning on playing.
Yeah.
And at what times. And hopefully it'll let more of you get there.
Yeah, Craigie Boy and I are going to be doing 50 Cent Blood in the Sand probably next week.
yeah, next week.
And it's supposed to not be that long of a game, so hopefully we'll get a lot of it done.
6 or 7 hours, according to how long to beat.
Yeah,
so.
it might take a couple sittings.
Although, with the two of us, I don't know. It could be a lot faster.
And that does have a co-op mode, right?
Yeah.
All the way through. That's
Yep.
what you guys are going to do, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
definitely need to stream
That
the
was plan.
entirety of the co-op mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, what member of G Unit are you going to play as?
I don't even know who the members are.
I know 50 Cent is one.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's kind of
He's like,
that's kind of the point, right?
He is the G.
Can you play through the entire game without playing 50 Cent?
I think there's like 4 guys or something, 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, so maybe
So that's probably what you should do. 50 Cent, Blood in the Sand.
a no 50 run.
But without 50 cents in your wallet.
We need to come up with like multiple runs for the game. Create like an online underground community. Like the Fitty No More run.
I
where
don't
you
think
just-
I don't think it plays with more than 2 people.
Oh, fucking dumb.
He was looking for another way to get his Resident Evil Outbreak addiction out.
Yeah.
In the form of fucking 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Yeah, man. What's wrong with that?
God.
I got it out in the form of Siphon Filter 2 this week, so
Oh. How's
addiction
that?
has. It's all right.
Not similar gameplay at all.
No, but they're both old clunky bastards, so similar in that way. And no one wants to fucking play them anymore. So
Did we get 50 Cent then?
yeah, it's here.
Sweet.
So we'll be doing that. It's up to us there. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at Nude Clan Podcast. I am at UFF Podcast.
I'm at Obsidian Ba.
And I am at Nude Clan Cam.
If you guys want to support us, we really, really appreciate it. You can support us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Nude Clan Podcast. We do have multiple new patrons this week, so thank you to
Thank you, guys.
Happy Puppet, Michael, Yes Man, and Nick Craig. Dun, 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 dun. There's another Craig.
It's a lie.
So thank you guys, and thank you to all of you supporters on Patreon. You can buy stuff through our Amazon link on our site, nudeclan.net. For now, we might be getting rid of the site. We don't know yet. Probably gonna, because nobody fucking uses it.
Yeah, no one visits
It
the
just
forum.
costs us money.
No one, like... How long has it been since we even posted a new episode to the forum?
Oh,
I think
dude,
the
it's been a
last
long
one
time.
was like the God of War retrospective.
Why?
I put a couple more.
Why haven't we been posting there?
I don't know. I just don't give a shit.
All right, then, yeah, it sounds like we need to get rid of the
And it's
fucking
either someone
site.
else has to do it, or it's going to be not done. So probably, but hey, it's there for now. audibletrial.com/NudeClan. Get Audible. It's great. Amazing service.
Yeah, plus we get money every time you buy stuff through having that link.
That's right, yeah. So you pay us. So pay up. Pay your
Yeah,
dues.
get them.
I mean, if you're going to get
credits.
something anyway, just do it through a link.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. So cool. Now that the formalities are out of the way, what have you guys been playing this week?
Fucking nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
What do you mean nothing?
I haven't played anything.
You didn't play a single game.
What have you been up to this week, Craig?
I've just been fucking busy, man.
That's
I
my line.
had to work fucking 50 hours this week. I just didn't do anything before I went to work. Just kind of like hung out with my brother yesterday, while babysitting a little bit, and then today, I just haven't played anything.
Why are you working so many hours?
I don't know. I'm gonna be doing some overtime next month too, so I'm not sure when they're gonna stop. I think they're probably pre-gaming for the for December when we get like fucking 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to pregame?
Plus,
for
we
that?
get like a week off for Thanksgiving, so I think that's what they're doing.
Why do they give you so much time off? That's weird.
I don't know. They just do.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but
I mean, it's you think it's kind of
nice.
cool, but they don't pay them for it.
yeah.
I mean, they do. With the holidays, we get the holiday.
Yeah, but the
pay
days
on-
they just
on
give
the
you off
holidays.
that's not the holiday, they don't pay you for that.
Yeah, but we can use our PTO if we want.
How much do you get a year? How much PTO?
For my first year, I get like a week, and then after that, I get like 2 to 2.5.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're past
okay.
your first year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Soon, I think.
2 to 2.5
Well, yeah,
weeks.
because remember he was through an agency.
Yeah, I was through a
Did
temp
you
agency
did you
first.
figure that shit out? Are you no longer part of that agency? Are you a real boy there?
Yeah, I'm a real boy there. I had started back in December of last year.
Good.
Yeah,
So you'll get 2 weeks.
yeah.
That's
like
not bad.
starting in December.
Yeah, I get 3 weeks every year.
I think I get 15 days right now.
3 weeks.
So is that 3
So-
weeks? Oh, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's 8, if you get 120 hours, you
Well, yeah, that's 3.
it's 15 days because you do 8 hours working day, 5 working days a week. So
Oh
that's-
no, I think I get 13 days, so I'm just under
Okay.
3 weeks, which is kind of lame, but I don't know. It's honestly that's kind of enough. Anything,
it is. I usually end the year without taking my full 3 weeks
yeah,
at all.
anything that's over 2 weeks is probably pretty good. I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
A week is fucking horrible.
Because 2 weeks, I think, is like a standard for PTO. And since we don't have any like sick days, they give us 3 weeks instead. So if we don't get sick, we get extra vacation. But if you do get sick, you have that time to pull in from. So
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting that too.
getting sick,
No, sick time.
it's good. It's fun. You should try it out.
Yeah, get sick. So, Cameron, what about you?
Plague.
Well, fucking Craig stole my line. Been pretty busy this week. I did play a couple of. Actually, here we go. My brother was in town.
So you played Diablo?
No,
Oh.
played Super Smash
Oh.
with him and his wife.
The Ultimate?
On the Switch.
Who won?
So I really haven't played this current iteration of Smash that much. So it started out my brother winning most of the time, but then we switched to more of just, picking random heroes. And then as I started to get back into it, it was pretty much half and half who'd win.
Who do you like playing as the most?
I know Ridley's always fun. I didn't actually ever play Fox, which he used to be my most favorite to play. I just need to get good at him again. But Young Link is probably the one that I'm best at right now.
Ridley is pretty fucking fun to play.
Oh, man. Dude, and then Ganondorf
if you get the tail move
hits hard.
just right with Ridley, it fucks him.
Yeah, it does. And I did do that once.
It's so good, dude.
But I just need to
My favorite is
practice a little more.
I
on
like
that.
the Villager and Isabel. I want to get really good with Isabel. Just because, that fishing pole move, dude, you can, throw people, under the map with it.
But as far as that, I did play just a little bit of Terra Enigma. Just a little bit, just to turn that thing on and try it out just a tad. But
Do you still want to do that thing, or no?
I mean, you're talking like it's a secret.
We could just replay. We could just watch season 2 of Castlevania.
No, I do want to play it. I do want to beat it.
But do you want to beat it in 3 weeks?
If I can, yeah.
And also have me borrow and beat it in that
Yeah.
time.
I mean, I have a copy,
Should be-
too. I can
Oh,
bring
do
it
you?
next time, yeah.
Wow. He
He
sent us two?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You could play it too, Craig.
Good.
let's do
We
it.
could all
How
do it.
long is it?
It shouldn't be too long of a game. You can look it up.
Yeah, the internet says it's not too super long.
But one thing that I did want to get into, this is not video game related, so if you want me to talk about this in another section, we can.
I don't know. What is it?
So, back in the day, we did our own brew, the old New Clan brew.
For beer?
Yeah. Remember that?
Well, we made
It was your
beer
house
once, yeah.
So I kind of wanted to get in that again, but I wanted to, take it to the next level and make my own whiskey or moonshine. But it's illegal to distill ethanol for purposes of consumption.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Federally, it's illegal. Certain states will allow you to make 100 or so gallons for personal consumption.
What about Utah?
No, of course
Okay.
not. So to kind of get around that, I can just go to the whiskey store or the liquor store and pick up some moonshine or some White Dog whiskey. There's tons of different variations you can try, and then get my own small 2-liter oak cask, and then age my own whiskey at home. Speed aging whiskey, it's possible to get the flavor to taste like an older whiskey in a shorter amount of time, just because there's more wood to alcohol contact. But there's certain things that happen in really long aged whiskey that can't happen without having that much time. So I kind of wanted to get into that, see if I can do some fun stuff to the barrel, put sherry or something in it for a while, and then put whatever whiskey base I want to start with, and then mess around with that. You guys down to
Yeah, that'd be fun.
make
Kinda
our own
mess
stuff?
around.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to do the Nude Clan Brewery
I mean,
at
yeah.
some point.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I was also looking into it, you don't have any more space here. I don't have space at my place. Where are we gonna set up the still and stuff like that?
No, just do it in the crawl space. Just boil all the stuff up here and then stash it down there and bottle that shit.
Excavate the crawl space down a little bit further.
Yeah, just do some digging. I'm sure that'll be safe. There's probably nothing under the house. Just make it so deep that we can just stand up and walk.
You know what? In a
around.
Don't
perfect
you have a fucking attic?
Yeah, but that is not where you want to store that kind of shit.
no,
It's way
it
too
gets
hot.
way too hot. You know what would have been the perfect place to do something like that? Remember the old house I was in at Springville with the fucking root cellar?
Yeah,
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that's like
Jeez.
the ultimate temperature.
Yeah.
You remember mine? The
Yeah.
fucking, like, the dirt room.
Yeah,
in the
so I
very,
had
like,
I had a dirt room too, which was what I was getting at. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a perfect place to just let the stuff brew.
God, I wish I had that house.
Do you?
Yeah,
I
I
do.
wouldn't want that house, Craig.
I love that house.
I mean, after the other family behind you fixed it up, probably.
Yeah, after your leavings were cleared out.
they ruined it.
Yes.
But anyways, I just kind of want to know if any listeners have tried anything like that and have any ideas of what I can do to like flavor stuff. Because looking online, there isn't too much information besides just buying an oak, barrel and just aging it in the oak barrel. I mean, where's the variety? Like, you could look for like more of a rum type thing and go that way, but where's the variety? Where are the forums of people trying out new flavors and stuff and their findings? Like, there is like no previous research that I can find that will tell me, what if I want to find a moonshine or a white dog whiskey that was peat dried so I can get that smoky flavor into my drink. And like, has anyone else tried to treat their cask with a different type of alcohol beforehand to see if you can part some of that flavor to your drink? Or like, what happens if I just want to throw like 3 or 4, maybe like a handful of coffee beans into the alcohol as it's aging to see if I can get like a small coffee bitterness to go with the drink too, without making it like a coffee, rum, something like that. And then has anyone like heat treated have they baked their barrels? Have they scorched the inside of it to get that film of carbon in there to do filter? Or do you like to pre-filter your drink before putting in? Like, I have these questions, man.
Yeah,
I need answers.
It's crazy because there's forum of people playing Resident Evil Outbreak.
I mean, you can go
consistently.
online and you can find people doing
Maybe you
stuff
should
like
make that forum.
I know. I was thinking about that. And also with all the fucking trouble I've been going through with this fucking getting the PS4 party chat and all that stuff in there, if I find something that works, and I can be the one who could fucking make that YouTube video that needs to exist and then send it to some other fucking large channel, have them publish it.
I'm sure there's like a Reddit subsection of weird barrel cooking.
Well, I
things
found
that
the Firewater subreddit, and that is about distilling your own alcohol, but it's mostly about distilling the alcohol rather than the aging
Barrel
process
treatment.
afterwards.
Maybe if you threw something up on there, you'd get some hits. People will
Yeah,
talk.
I thought about that.
Because then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I totally do this and this and this." Like,
Yeah, I just want to find a comprehensive, because there's certain processes that you can't, again, you need time to have it complete, and so you need really long aging times. I just want to know if anyone has tried different ways to get around it, but if they had, then we'd have a lot more whiskey that was quick age that would complete with flavor wise with the larger name brands, and the price of expensive whiskeys would go down, but they haven't
Yeah.
quite cracked the code yet.
I mean, you'd think it would go down once you get established, because if you are distilling X amount of gallons per day, it might take 3 years for you to use it, but
I'm
if you're
talking
doing
like,
it, you'll have a constant supply of 3-year-old whiskey.
I'm talking like the 12-year to 15-year barrel aged.
Still, even then, though, I mean, that's a 15-year startup time, which is
Mhm.
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And you would have to keep continually producing it so that you didn't run out when the 15 years hit.
Yep.
So it's a lot.
I'm pretty sure you would have it set up to where this is intended to be my 15, this is going to be my 3-year, and stuff like that. And there's probably a different process for each of those different years to get the best flavor possible out of that amount of years. But I'm not planning on going that far out. The most I think I would want to age something is probably maybe a year and a half. But with the 2-liter barrel, you could achieve flavor-wise, not mouthfeel. That's something different. But flavor-wise, you could achieve something that tastes like a 3-year in about 6 months to a year. So this is something I really want to start doing. And the
Yeah,
buy-in
it's-
isn't too expensive either.
It sounds like it. Have you already done it?
No.
All right.
No, because I have these questions that no one can answer. Because I don't want to just do what everyone else does and just buy that $30 to $40 small barrel and just throw whatever moonshine or grain alcohol in there. I want to do something like you actually have to think about it and try to work to get the flavor you want.
Yeah.
Well, maybe give a couple things a try. See if they work.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
15
Well, I
years.
mean,
See if it worked.
I was thinking
Get a-
about getting like 3 or 4 casks maybe, and then trying to hold like a few different things.
Yeah.
But then that would take effort over a amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. So
Oh.
you haven't played anything because you're too busy looking up ways to create a.
Well, it was that.
your whiskey.
So I was looking up that, and I was looking up the PS4 thing, and then I played casual games. Some Overwatch, not very much, and then some Terra Nigma, not very much, and then Super Smash. Just a busy week for me as well.
All right.
Didn't feel the gameage.
Well, for me, I think there was like one day that I didn't play, but every other day I played something. I think. I don't know. I played a shitload of Resident Evil Outbreak again this week. I played it online with my friend from work, and we dominated. We finally completed the campaign online. I think there's a couple levels that we didn't play together, but he finished last night, and so it was fun. We got online at like 2 in the morning, 1 or 2, and we actually had a full party of 4 people online for the final level of the first game. So that was pretty exciting. Those guys carried the shit out of us because they knew exactly where to go. It's funny because one guy's like, I don't know, I haven't played this level for like 3 years, and then he just carries us the whole time, and I'm like, well, that's sad. I played it like a week ago, and I don't know where everything is like you do. So these people are freaks. They memorize it all.
Glad to know that community's still alive and well.
Yeah, it's like there's like usually at peak times there's usually like 20 or so people in the chat,
Amazing.
and then generally about 5 or so people playing it.
Man, such thriving community.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
That's the kind of demand that companies want when they want to remaster a game.
it is 17 years old. To be fair, the game is almost allowed to join the military.
It's 17 years old and running off of someone else's hacked server.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
even. Yeah.
It's not legit at all, and the servers went down a very long time ago. So that was a lot of fun. Really enjoying that. I played a ton of not a ton, but I played Siphon Filter 2 this week as well. Just because I don't know, I'm going through a little mini phase where I kind of want to do my backlog a little bit, kind of trim the hedges around my backlog, make it look a little less,
Well, isn't trimming the hedges supposed to make it look bigger?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hedges are the backlog. I'm just trying to trim it down so that my.
So you're saying it's all hedge and no meat?
Yeah, pretty much right now.
He's
It's
trying
all-
to make his hog look bigger by trimming the hedges.
Yeah, exactly. And it's working.
Oh, is
but-
it?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's about it for me this week. I only played a couple things. Ramping up to do World of Final Fantasy and probably some Terra Nigma, but I haven't started those yet.
Mm-hmm.
But soon. So we know
You're gonna love that World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it'll probably be better than some of the shit you've made me play.
No.
Caleb, I am almost positive that it will be. Although that voice acting I've heard is real fucking bad.
The gameplay is like the exact same. Just so you're aware.
It's gonna. I feel like it has to be better than Cyber Sled.
Only marginally.
I mean, if it doesn't have a flying trumpet as the menu theme, I don't know if it can be, and I'm pretty sure it won't. Like, I'm pretty sure. I don't know for sure, but I am pretty positive. But we know what everyone's been playing. Has anyone beaten a game this week? This week.
Obviously not.
Obviously, if you didn't play a single thing. Cameron, nothing for you either.
Yeah.
I beat Siphon Filter 2.
You proud of that?
Yeah, man. I'm proud of how much I played that game and never finished it because I was like, oh, I know this level, and then I finished the first level and I got to the second level and I'm like, yeah, I've got this level memorized too, and then I get to the second disc and I'm like, I kind of have the whole first disc memorized. And then I had really weird deja vu at the end. Because I was like, I feel like I've played this before. Like, I feel like I might have beaten this game in the past. And then I realized what it was, and I was like, oh no, that was Max Payne. It's like the exact same at the end almost. Like there's a helicopter on the roof. You're going through, killing a bunch of suits on the way up. Like it's another Matrix-esque thing, but even before Max Payne. So like I feel like Max Payne took a lot from obviously the Matrix and obviously Siphon Filter with like the awkward kind of third-person shooter. But Max Payne is...
Better.
Yeah, it's definitely better as a game, honestly. It plays much, much nicer in a more modern sense. It also isn't a PS1 game. They're all PS2, except for the third, which is PS3. But it was just super weird as I was playing it, because I was just like... I was so convinced that I had played this before, and I was like, what? There's no way. I never played 2 all the way. And then it finally hit me that it was just like Max Payne. It was crazy. So 2 more Siphon Filter games, and then I've done all of them. Got 3 in Omega Strain.
I always confuse that series with Ghost Recon for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like nothing like Ghost Recon.
No, not Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. There we go.
So it's even less like that, I think, than fucking Ghost Recon.
I know.
Splinter Cell is like hardcore stealth.
Yeah.
And probably better, also.
I have no idea why I always confuse the two, but like for some reason they're like the same in my mind.
Just the S. It's the S, and it's
Maybe.
a shooter thing that you've never played. It's just this unknown.
It's Siphon Filter, it's Splinter Cell.
Yeah, those sound the same, right?
Yeah, the exact same.
All right, so do we have a question this week, Greg?
Yes.
Anybody bring anything up? Oh, by the way, the Nude Clan Hog for the host is as follows. Caleb Craig, first place with 33 games beaten. I am in second with 25. Cameron, third place, sitting at 10.
Oh, yeah.
Doing good, Cam.
Yeah.
Well, he's at 10, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Double digits, boy.
Yeah, celebrate.
Yeah, that's
Craig-
exactly it.
Think about it. I mean, Craig won't even hit triple digits, and you will all be double digit by the end.
Yeah. We'll all be double digits.
We're all the same.
That's right.
Everyone's double digit. Double digit daddies. That's what we are.
Okay, so the question is from Chase Serzlani. Says, is there a difference between loot boxes and collecting cards?
In real life, no.
Yeah, they're basically the same.
They're the exact
Yeah.
same. People just like to throw fits on video games.
Well,
I would say the only difference is that in real life you can buy the cards individually from other
True.
sources.
That's fair.
And you can't do that for the contents of loot boxes.
Yeah, so you can basically just go make a deck or whatever on whatever website and then go buy those exact cards later.
Yeah, so
Um,
in a way it's a little better if you're not like actually buying the packs.
And I guess card games, of course, it's different than playing a video game where everyone has the same starting point and then you buy something that makes you better. Whereas in the card game, no one is at the same starting point. You just have whatever cards you have.
Yeah, plus the cards are kind of like the entirety of the game, and the loot boxes are just like it's something extra on the side.
Yeah. I guess, no. Technically, no. They're not quite the same. They're very similar, though.
Yeah, in the sense of just like straight up buying the packs, yeah, they're the exact same. But like if you're buying the cards individually, that would be the one difference.
Yeah, I would say that they're also similar to like any sort of like random toy pack that you can buy that's just like a loot box
Like
where
the
you
gotchas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you open it up and it's like, oh, this is this one. But like if you buy those online, you could buy them online also by themselves. Newly
Generally.
opened.
Something like that, yeah.
It should be available. So I mean, it's similar but different. But I think it's mostly similar. If you buy booster packs a lot, then you're basically buying you're basically paying for a loot box.
yeah.
Honestly, though, I don't know. For me, it's like I know they
well,
try to
also
make
with trading cards, there's generally things like they don't really do that for like sports cards or anything, but with like Magic and whatever, you can buy decks that have preset cards in there.
Yeah.
That they tell you about. So, I mean, there is a slight difference there too.
Yeah, I feel like it's mostly similar though. If you're one of those ones,
it's pretty fucking close.
And I don't know. I still feel like they might be slightly predatory, but they're never. I never feel like I need to buy the loot boxes like ever. I've never really purchased loot boxes. I'll open the ones that I get, and it's kind of cool to get like different costumes and stuff like that. But I'm never one that really has cared about that on those type of games, because like I don't care about getting a costume in Overwatch because I don't see my character.
Yeah.
Like,
why
do I give a fuck?
Another difference would also be loot boxes tend to be more cosmetic, whereas like if you're buying cards, unless it's literally the sports type cards, it's a pay to win type deal.
Yeah.
So, because like you would have to pay for the better cards to have the better deck, so that you can win.
That's fair. Not all loot box stuff is cosmetic though, but most of the time I think it is.
Most of the time it is. In the case
Yeah,
of
and
like
especially nowadays.
Battlefront 2, they started adding stuff that was pay to win, and which is why they got in trouble.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
no one cares about loot boxes when it's just cosmetic items.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that claim that like I don't know that like it's that cry foul at loot boxes for cosmetics, I think they're just being pussies, honestly.
So
They're like, oh, it's predatory, and it's like, well, you don't need this fucking outfit. And yeah, it might be programmed to be to mess with the same thing in your mind.
Predatory in a sense that it like goes after the gambling addiction type people, but also at the same time it's entirely cosmetic for the most part. So their like desire is based off of
as long as
some
the items
random need
in
to
a loot
have
box.
cosmetic items.
So here's the thing: as long as items in a loot box do not affect the game in any way, I don't have a problem with anything in the loot box. And then when it comes to cosmetics, as long as there is a way to unlock some nice cosmetics through excellent gameplay, then there's no reason to get mad at loot boxes.
Yeah, I feel like most of the rage is just people trying to blame someone for their irresponsible spending habits. And if you want to find out the person to blame, you got to take your phone out and get your camera ready, right? But you want to tap that little square thing in the bottom right corner.
So you got to look at it
depending on the phone choice.
It depends on, well, you know what I'm talking about. And you switch it to where the camera's pointing at you, and then you found the one.
You know, you went a real roundabout way when you could have just said you could just look at a mirror.
Yeah, but that's so standard. It's so cash.
It's like you gotta go into your phone settings and make sure that the camera is set on the selfie cam.
Someone at home is very upset. Like the button's not there.
Cosmetic items in first-person shooter games are kind of dumb.
Yeah. It's like, and then like people who use that, I'm like, do you have that much time? Like,
man, because I got mad at it. Like, well, we were playing Battlefield, and it's like I was looking at all the little cosmetics they have for the fucking like guns, and it's like this is just like different shades of camo. Like,
yeah, the only good
and then
gun
you
cosmetic
get the golden gun.
is
and
the
it's
golden
like,
gun.
Okay,
that's
then
the only good one. But you have to be good with that weapon in order to get it.
And then like you get fucking you can buy different characters, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what's the
it's good,
point of that? Like, it's a first-person game. You can't see your character. Like, do they have special voice lines?
Yes.
Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then
they do have
like,
they do have special
that's
voice lines and
basically it.
animations and stuff like that. But then it's for the other people to enjoy, not you.
Yeah.
No, but
yeah, I don't pay for them.
It's
to have
basically
fun.
it's like showing off at that point.
Yeah,
It's
But
like,
you have to look at
I bought
it-
this, you guys.
you have to look at it this way. So they know how much we're willing to pay for video games now, and there's no real way to get more money out of people who only want to pay that much for the game.
Yeah.
Especially now that big games are moving more towards a live service and away from a like a premium pass type of thing, where they're not going to split up the community by buying premium, selling certain DLCs as a premium content because the people who don't pick up on the premium pass are not going to play those new maps, and so those new maps get underpopulated super fast because there's not as many people playing them in the first place. And so how do you treat a game as a live service and still get money if you're not going to charge for a premium pass? Well, DLCs are no longer a thing where they could probably get an extra $40 to $50 out of people who'd be willing to spend it, and so now you're going to get cosmetic
I'd rather
items.
have map packs than like weird free bullshit.
Map packs, again, is not. You don't want to split who's going to play what map. That's the whole issue with the premium pass type of thing.
I mean, you don't really do that because like everybody who's playing, if they have the maps, then there's still a chance that they're going to play on the base maps.
So
Yeah,
as
but
the
if it's
game starts
Battlefield,
getting
though-
older, like Battlefield right now, if they had split up if you have to have a premium pass to play the new maps, you're not going to get to play those new maps ever. What you spent money to play, you're never going to get to enjoy because no one else is
I
going
don't
to play
know, man.
on it.
All I'm saying is that when we were playing COD, I never had a problem finding a game when we were playing on the newer maps.
So that's why they're no longer doing the premium pass thing, because it doesn't split up the community anymore.
I get it, but
And so how else are they supposed to be making money to keep continuously updating games? Because now games are
part of the
have
problem
active
is like
communities for
every
years.
fucking company has decided that like every game they put out needs to be this huge budgeted AAA game when they could just make like a AA.
Well, the
game.
costs are raising largely across the line. I mean, a lot of gaming is becoming unionized, so the cost of labor is increasing. Like, a lot of expenses are coming out of the gaming industry that are not, they're good for some people, but it's going to make the shit more expensive to make. And it's also getting more and more expensive as the tech gets bigger and better, and everyone's trying to get flashier and flashier, which is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, that's the point. Is like they keep trying to be like the biggest and the best every time when that's not something that they need.
But I feel like labor costs have gone up a lot too, because a lot of those places are getting
They're just
more
trying to
unionized
unionize
and-
because they've been abused with like things like crunch time and other factors.
Well, right, that's fine, but you can't on one hand say that they're being abused by crunch time so they deserve it, and then also be like, why, games are too expensive. They're just trying to whip their dicks around and show everybody how big they are, and it's like, well, no, it's because they're paying people so much more now. There's a lot of all this other stuff. It's not bad, it's not good. I don't really give a shit because I'm not a programmer who feels like I like games enough to program video games, which really you shouldn't like games if you're doing that because you're probably not going to get to play very many of them.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really care one way or another. I think that's why, though. I think that's one of the reasons why. It's just getting more expensive to make them overall, just as a business. So, I mean, yeah, they might be focusing on making it look really good, but it's also really, I don't know, a lot of people care about that, and especially with shooters. Like, that's why shooters age so poorly over time.
Shooters
usually.
age poorly because the main big ones tend to not change in any way.
Well,
Call of Duty has been using the same engine since like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
they've been using the same engine for a long time. I mean, so has Battlefield. They've just been using the same engine over. They'll make updates to it, so the engine does not look the same as its original iteration. But if we're going to talk about Call of Duty, they were using that engine for a long time. We're talking back in the days of Quake. But they've been modifying over and over again. But now, yeah, this new Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare, coming out, completely new. It's awesome. That's
They have
why
an entirely new engine for it.
let me find the actual facts before I say something.
Because that's always been my problem with Call of Duty. I mean, they're fun to play, but paying $60 for a game that's only had like a cosmetic upgrade.
Well, can you imagine paying
Or change.
$60 for one like Black Ops 3 where it's like or 4 where it's like, yeah, we don't actually have a campaign. It's like, this is our new strategy, our new like world vision. Like, look how revolutionary we are. We said, don't put the campaign in. How cool is that, huh?
Yeah,
It's like patting you on the back real hard. How's that cool, huh? Hey, you like
we're
that?
just gonna cut out like all of our work.
Yep, brand new engine for the series. I knew it. So it uses a lot of the images and models in the game. They just used photogrammetry, which is taking pictures of real life things and then putting them in the game. And then
So it's
making
gonna be
models of them.
2D. That'll be fucking sweet. It's like all the real stuff is 2D
man.
and all the fake stuff is 3D.
But no, the bullet physics and stuff are changed too. So bullets are now treated as projectiles instead of rays.
Yeah, instead of just insta-fucks. Wow, that's
Interesting.
cool.
And their large battle scale mode will be the thing that challenges Battlefield.
I just want them to continue having prop hunt now that I've discovered that's like the greatest game mode that they've ever made.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good.
Man.
I feel like One in the Chamber and Gun Game might be better. But Prop Hunt
I
is
used to
more
miss that.
hilarious.
Dude, prop hunt.
If they could,
It's so beautiful.
bring back the gambling modes of Battlefield and into this new Modern Warfare and do like a gambling prop hunt type thing, that would be
Wait, for
fun.
Battlefield.
You mean for
Not
Black
Battlefield,
Ops?
for Black Ops. Yeah,
I
that's right.
fucking
Black Ops.
loved the contracts,
Oh, man.
dude.
Dude,
Yeah,
the contracts to get money, but then being able to go spend it like and gambling game modes for the
Yeah,
one in the
like the
chamber
sticks
gun
and
game,
stones.
sticks and stones.
Sticks and
You could
stones,
wager
you
on
bet,
matches.
Huh?
You wagered on Sticks and
Yeah,
Stones.
you
didn't
could wager on any of those. Yeah, just set your wager down, and the winner gets all that. Oh, that was some
some
fucking
fun-
good
that was some
bragging
fun
rights right
shit.
there.
Yeah.
Could you even
Plus,
spin those?
it gave you a reason to like go do the contracts.
Yeah.
and get money to play those.
Exactly.
game modes.
Dude, I had so much XP from the contracts in that game. Like
That was honestly Black Ops is like the pinnacle. Of
It
Call
is.
Of
it
Duty.
really
Oh, man.
is. Anyone that says any otherwise is either too old or too
It had
young.
like the best campaign, and the gameplay was the best the series has ever been. So
Yeah. So could you use the money for anything else other than the wagers and
I
stuff
think
like that?
you bought the attachments for the guns.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See, that's awesome. That's fucking legit.
then you would get XP for it. So like it was so.
if
I got
if you
over-
are good at the game, like like a technicality standpoint, go do a few contracts, and then go get to the big boy wager tables and earn tons of money and never have to worry about attachments.
Yeah, the game that they really need to remaster isn't Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare. It's just straight Black Ops.
yeah.
That would be amazing. But with this new Modern Warfare, apparently, like there is a ton of customability with all the firearms in the game.
I
as
love
far as
how they
attachments go.
remastered it,
Nice.
and then now they're just remaking it. Like they just love Modern Warfare. They're just
Well,
obsessed with
the Modern Warfare of that time was supposed to be, something shocking to the players of that day and age. When they want to do that again, they want to make a
Modern
single player
Warfare 2
campaign.
was the one that was the shocking one,
Yeah.
where it opened up with you fucking murdering and
They want you to feel the same way playing this one.
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
You're gonna it's gonna be like a nursery this time. You're gonna
Yeah.
kick the nursery down. It's like
it's literally nothing but school shootings.
remember, no baby talk. And then you just fucking unload. And the people are like, wow, this is kind of dark. It's all over the news, and you're just like, yeah, I mean, it makes you feel something, though, right? It's like, yeah,
made me feel alive.
made me feel alive. Little twinkle of insanity in your eye. Oh, shit. Yeah, good stuff, man. I hope they do Black Ops. I really do. I want to play that again.
Or at least bring back the spirit of Black Ops.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised I don't know, like Black Ops seemed to go a really weird direction after the first one for me.
Oh, it totally did.
Because the first one was just a sequel to World at War, going into the Cold War and shit like that, and some Vietnam for like 2 seconds.
And it was like going into like Cuba and stuff, going to assassinate Fidel Castro, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, Black Ops 2, it's in the future, you're riding horses, fighting the technology that's turned against you, it's fucking Terminator and Skynet.
Yeah, it seemed rapid and like totally
It's like,
unnecessary.
did I miss like 3 or 4 games?
Yeah, sure this is 2 and not 6? Like, it's just really fast. Yeah. Fuck it, though. Whatever. They'll do what they want. And we'll see. I might pick up that Modern Warfare remake. That does look
When
pretty
does that
sweet.
come out? Is it November?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in November.
Yeah, fucking everything's out in November.
Hey, Cyberpunk's out next year.
No, it's September 12th.
Yeah,
Of next year?
No, this year.
yeah, it's a couple weeks.
Oh, I was thinking it was past that for some reason for like 2 seconds. I'm like, well, what the fuck? That's crazy. Normally they come out in November with CODs.
Yeah, no, it's September 12th for this one.
Wow. There you go. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up. All right, Craig, you want to talk about Bethesda?
Yeah, let's do it. So, hold on. Let me grab my shit. All right, so in 1986, Christopher Weaver founded Bethesda as a part of his other company that he founded, Media Technology Limited. And he wanted to see if developing games for the PC would be like a viable option, like if they were ready for that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then, because they were making games for consoles and things at the time, and there was like a few for PC, but not like a dedicated thing. And so Weaver originally wanted to name the company Softworks, which Bethesda would later adopt as part of a separate company that split off from OG Bethesda called Bethesda Softworks. And so the OG Bethesda became Bethesda Game Studios. And then Bethesda is credited with the creation of the first physics-based sports game. Do you have any guesses on what that was called?
Physics-based sports game.
Yes, the first one ever.
From Bethesda.
Yeah.
I don't know, FIFA?
No. It was called Gridiron. It was a football
game.
Yeah. It was made for a few consoles like the Atari ST, the Commodore Amiga, and the Commodore 64. And EA at the time was making the first John Madden game. And then they had Bethesda finish developing it, and at the same time, Bethesda acquired the distribution rights to any like further versions and games of Gridiron. And the next year, after they didn't really publish any Gridiron games, and they had taken the physics engine of Gridiron, they kind of Bethesda sued EA because they had stopped making any Gridiron copies for any other consoles and everything, and basically just straight up stole their stuff so they could use it in the Madden game series. So essentially, Bethesda created Madden.
Huh. Wow.
Huh. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. So they purchased the engine, and they thought they were going to make Gridiron games so they can get a cut off the profits. But he's like, nah.
Yeah.
We just needed your technology.
Basically. And so Bethesda tried to sue them for $7 million after claiming that EA had, stolen their shit. And the case was resolved outside of the courts.
Of course.
They probably got some money then.
Essentially
they settled.
an acknowledgement that they totally did that. And then in 1994, Bethesda released its best-known series.
Yes.
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
Yep, the first game, Arena. And
Mm-hmm.
they also had released games based on Star Trek, Terminator, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, and during that time, Todd Howard had joined the company, and he was...
What year?
1994.
Todd Howard has been there for some time.
Yes. Yes, he has. He joined the company around the time of Arena's release on CD-ROM, which he helped put through. He was also in charge of the Hammerfall project, which basically was a separate, smaller game that was based on the code of what was the second game?
Redguard or Red something? I don't know.
Redguard or whatever. No, Hammerfall was the second game. It was Redguard that was the DLC thing. So it wasn't necessarily a DLC, but it was like a separate, like smaller game. It was kind of like an action game.
Right.
But this was like in 1998 after DOS had been kind of like tossed away and Windows was now a thing. And it was a DOS game, so it kind of didn't make very much money. And the other game that they had made around just before that was called Battlespire, which was also kind of a spin-off of the Elder Scrolls series. It was like an action RPG type game that also had multiplayer. And that one they were doing a lot of stuff at the same time. They were making a bunch of games. They were
Right.
trying to publish a bunch of other people's games, and so they didn't really have a whole lot of time to work on their games. So Bethesda was kind of fucking up a lot during this time, and that's one of the first games that was it didn't sell well, even though it had like a great concept. Everybody loved the story and a bunch of things, but
Right.
the gameplay and stuff suffered from a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It was
Classic.
called Battlespire.
Oh, okay.
And Hammerfall also had, I mean, not Hammerfall, but the Redguard thing had the same problem.
Oh, that's funny because Daggerfall is like fucking godly.
Yeah, that's the game.
That was the second one. That was their huge hit.
Yeah, it was. It was a really big game, and after that, they wanted to work on Morrowind, which kept getting put off a bunch of times. And then after Battlespire and Hammerfall started failing, Bethesda was like on the verge of bankruptcy. And then ZeniMax, which was another company founded by Weaver, he had like 4 companies, just so you guys know. They had them bail them out and gave them like one last chance to start making a successful game. And so at that time, they started publishing a bunch of other people's games.
Safe move.
So they could
Just to garner some income to
make some
fund
money
other projects.
while they worked on their big project, which was Morrowind, which Todd Howard was in charge of, and he asked ZeniMax.
Tard
for it.
Howard.
Yep. He asked ZeniMax for like a huge budget so that he could hire like a crap load of people to work on the game, because it was going to be like a massive undertaking.
Yeah,
Or at
I
least
need
that's what he wanted it to
200
be.
software guys and 2 voice actors, please.
Actually, Morrowind didn't have any.
Any
It was,
voice
it
actors?
was still a text-based
Are you serious?
RPG. Yes.
Wow.
Oblivion, which one we'll get into, was the first one to do voice acting. So yeah, Todd Howard was in charge of that one. So he's been working on Elder Scrolls pretty much since the beginning, since he
Yeah.
helped usher in the CD version of Arena and worked on Daggerfall and also a few of the other side
Right.
projects, and also was in charge of Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. So yeah, Todd Howard was in charge. He asked for a huge budget. So that
Surprised
he
they
could
gave it to him.
so they can make the biggest game ever. It was basically a huge gamble for ZeniMax. They were like, we're gonna give you this budget so you can try and make this game, because the Arena and Daggerfall were like huge successes.
Right.
But when they tried to make smaller games, they knew that was kind of like where they fucked up, because they tried to do too much at once.
Okay.
So they wanted to focus on this one thing that would be like their big saving grace. It was kind of Bethesda's Final Fantasy, where Final Fantasy saved Square from being bankrupt. This was kind of the same thing.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And while they were making Morrowind, Microsoft had announced they were coming out with a console that was capable of handling what they were planning on putting out.
Nice.
And so they had contacted Microsoft, showed them a bit of what they were going to do, and they were like, "Yeah, this looks great. Let's make that a launch title for the Xbox." Unfortunately, while they were doing that, they had the development time took a little longer than they thought, so they missed the
the
launch.
launch date? Mm.
So they were about like a year late on the release, but it was a Xbox, kind
Exclusive?
of an Xbox exclusive. It wasn't on the other systems. It was solely for the Xbox, because the Xbox had a built-in hard drive, which the other consoles did not have. And then Morrowind became like a huge selling game. Sold like 1 million copies in the first month or so on the
Nice.
Xbox. So it was a huge success for them. And around that time, Weaver was kicked out of his company by his partners, and he later tried to sue them for obtaining, his big brands that he
Right.
had obtained, like Elder Scrolls and a few other things, and then just getting rid of him after they had gotten his properties. And then the court wouldn't take the case because Weaver had apparently gone through his partner's emails for the evidence to garner his case.
Yeah, legal evidence.
Yeah. So, but the case was settled out of court, and Weaver remained a primary shareholder with 33% of the company.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his passion projects too. So
Yeah. And that was like for ZeniMax Studios, so it wasn't technically part of Bethesda.
right.
They had kind of like acquired them, but it was later. And then while making Oblivion, Bethesda had to code the game while guessing what the next gen consoles could even like handle,
Right.
because the companies hadn't like released any specs. They were like talking about it, but they like had announced that they were working on their projects, but they hadn't told anyone what they were going to be capable of, and they hadn't sent any developers any information or whatever to do that. So while they were making Oblivion, they had to kind of like guess the entire time on what it could handle. So they would like program it to be kind of around what they were guessing it could handle, and then they would change it by the time that the things actually came out. And then Bethesda had to revamp the entirety of the AI from their last game for Oblivion, so that each individual character in the game would have their own routine and schedule so that they would like walk around the cities and stuff.
I remember really reading a whole bunch of the development of Oblivion, and one of the funny bugs that one of the developers would talk about is that they made it to where even the AIs had to eat, and that they would proactively go get food to eat, which was good when you wanted to poison them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that would happen is depending on which who was playing the game and what order they would do the beginning quests. One of the quests requires you to go down into the prison and get someone out of the prison in order to complete. But sometimes that prisoner would be dead when you'd go to get them. And they found out that some of the guards in the guardhouse would eat all the food in the guardhouse and have no more food. And so they'd go down there and beat up the prisoner and steal his food.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And so to fix it, all they did was just put more food in the guardhouse. So theoretically, it could still happen
That's
if you go
hilarious.
steal all the food.
Oh man, it's funny. I remember some of those missions for the Dark Brotherhood being like, yeah, go kill this guy, and they'd give you like poison to like poison their drinks or their food or whatever. Like you could leave a poisoned apple. I remember like putting a poison apple just like on the table of the Dark Brotherhood, and then like one orc dude would like take a bite out of it, and then he just like immediately died. It was hilarious. So yeah, Oblivion. Well, they had to revamp their AI so they would feel like a living world. They also had them scripted for choices rather than like a set path. So like in the previous games, like you would go do like their side quests or their main missions, and you would have to follow like that specific set path. Where like in Oblivion, they would give you choices on like what you wanted to do.
Right.
So that it would feel a little more open in the open world game. And then Oblivion was also one of the first games that Bethesda made that had DLC, so they were like exploring that kind of territory. And the first DLC that they made was, can you guess?
Oblivion.
For what? Oblivion?
Yeah.
It's the Knights of the Nine thing. The
Nope.
Shivering Isles.
Nope.
Morrowind.
Nope.
For Oblivion, the first DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never had DLC.
There's a big issue about it. It was the horse armor.
Oh, the microtransaction thing.
Yes. So the first DLC that they had popped out with that came out on like the Microsoft Store and on like the other things that they can buy for PC was the horse armor, which fans were a little torn on this thing because they were like on the first hand they were like, well, we like the idea of DLC because we can
they
get
want more content for the game they like.
We can get more content for the game we like, but then the horse armor was like $5, so they're like, yeah, we don't like paying that price for something so minor.
I mean, they're just trying to find out what people wanted to pay.
And it was one of the first DLCs, so we have and Bethesda's response was basically to come out with a huge amount of content for a lesser price, which was what they did with their next DLCs. which were the Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles. And then a PSP version was being planned for the for Oblivion.
Fuck that.
But then it was canceled.
Yeah, because it can't fucking handle anything that they would make.
It was too much of a project. They would have to make the game from scratch essentially, so that it could handle it. So yeah, it was canceled. And then in 1997, so we're going back in time now. Bethesda had acquired a place called XL Translab, a graphics firm that got its start as a Catholic university school of architecture, which is a little odd. XL eventually moved into a new center for Bethesda Softworks Rockville headquarters, which they moved to from Bethesda. XL Translab had previously done some work for PBS, as well as some more television commercials for some other Fortune 500 companies. And then in the middle of 1997, Bethesda's employee count was 75. So they had made the huge games of Morrowind and Daggerfall and Arena and all that with 25 up to 50 people. So not very many people worked on those huge games.
Okay.
And then in 1997 and 98, Bethesda had released the two Elder Scrolls games of Battlespire and Redguard, neither of which did as well as Daggerfall and Arena. And like I said, they went into bankruptcy, or was about to be. And then in 2002... 2007, the Fallout franchise was acquired by Bethesda, and they had got them from Interplay Entertainment, which owned the company that was actually making the games. And because they were having problems, they had to basically get rid of the company that was making the Fallout games. And so Bethesda bought the entirety of the Fallout franchise for $1 million or something like that.
Oh, wow. That's a good deal for what they ended up selling.
Yeah, I can't remember what the exact thing
76 is probably even worth that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got that, and then so they started work on Fallout 3, which had no code being used from the original Fallout 3 that was being made by
it's a totally different
the OG company. They built it from the ground up, and they were using a similar engine to the one that they had started using with Oblivion.
No.
Yeah. Surprising, I know.
You don't say.
I do say.
And I quite enjoyed Fallout 3, but some people enjoy New Vegas more because Obsidian had a hand in that.
Yeah. And, I think they built the engine that they used for Oblivion and those ones, but they actually had to borrow someone else's while they were making Morrowind because they didn't have time to make a new one, and then the one they were using was too old. It wasn't as good as they were hoping it would end up being.
Right.
And it was built more for the action games that they had made, like Battlespire and Redguard, so it wouldn't work as well. I think they had to make their own for Oblivion and for the Fallout games. But after Bethesda Softworks acquired the franchise, they handed it to Bethesda Game Studios to make. Fallout 3 was then released a year later in 2008. In October.
I remember that year.
And then,
I remember going to your place and sitting down and watching you play Fallout 3.
Dude, fucking Fallout 3
and
is
then
such
I went,
a great game.
You know what? I want to play that game. So I got my own copy of Fallout 3.
Dude, I freaking... I can play Fallout 3 on my Xbox
And then
One.
I put so many hours into it.
I'm trying to play New Vegas again on my Xbox.
I want to try to find New Vegas online, see what nice mods I can install.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some fun ones.
A lot of mods are around people adding their own missions and stuff like that to the game. I don't know if I want to do that, but...
Yeah. But yeah, so Fallout 3 was released, and it was given 5 DLCs, which was way more than the DLCs that Oblivion had. And do you remember what all of them are?
The DLCs for Fallout 3. So you
Fallout
have Operation Anchorage, you have Mothership Zeta, you have
I only remember Mothership Zeta.
That one is great.
you
I
had
love Mothership Zeta.
the one where he rode the boat off. Or was that Fallout 4?
No, that was
So the one you go
Fallout
out.
3.
So the one you ride the boat out to the swamp area.
Mhm.
Can't remember the name of it.
That one's Point Lookout.
Yes, Point Lookout. Those just the 3, right?
And then the Pit.
Oh fuck yes, the Pit.
And
Okay,
Broken Steel.
because the Pit isn't that Operation Anchorage, Broken Steel, or is that the one where you rescue Liberty Prime, and then he gets owned?
No, you rescue Liberty Prime in the main story.
But then one of the DLCs, you took him on a mission against the Enclave, and then they orbit strike him from a missile platform.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think that's Broken Steel.
That was fucking sad.
Yeah.
Liberty Prime dying. It's better dead.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Broken Steel, because it was you and the Brotherhood of Steel
Yeah.
were pushing on the Enclave, and because you had them on the run since the ending of the actual story of Fallout 3,
Yeah.
and then during the push they had taken refuge inside of a military orbital strike base, and they destroyed Liberty Prime.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
The-
I remember
the
I forgot
Pit
about
was
the
like,
Pit.
The Pit was like a slaving thing.
Yeah, it was a slave fighting
Awesome.
ring thing.
They were-
But Schweiss wakes up
you
to talk
didn't-
about slaves.
You didn't get the slave choice. You had to like free them.
Yeah.
They were being
Oh.
used. They were being.
It was your
used to, like,
choice.
That's the opposite of the whole point.
I mean, you get to choose a little.
But
bit.
the
There's
reason
some
why I
moral
really
stuff,
liked the Pit DLC was because it added the ability to make your own ammunition. And in that time in the game, certain types of ammo were super hard to come by.
Yeah.
And so being able to convert ammo into other types of ammo, that was nice.
It was really nice, especially when
And-
you constantly run out of ammo.
And
for
not to
your
mention the cool
plasma rifles.
melee weapons that DLC brought too.
Which ones did that one have?
It had some
Shish
sort of
kebab
like
was base,
shish,
wasn't it?
No, I think shish kebab was base. Yeah,
Yeah.
but had like some sort of Ripper type custom weapon.
Was that the knife that was like a chainsaw?
Yeah, so that's the Ripper, the base. It was the knife chainsaw. I'll look it up later.
God,
so we
I
have
love
it.
that game. I fucking
Dude,
love
I spent so much time with Fallout 3.
Yeah, I played like 4 or 5 hours. Maybe.
The Anchorage
Dude,
DLC
freaking
was
Joe played like 4 or 5 hours and was like, I can't play this game anymore because I won't stop.
yeah. that's a lot.
Anchorage was the one that tried to make it feel more like a first-person shooter.
God, dude,
man, and the
Anchorage
stealth
was so good.
and the stealth boys, and then the Chinese stealth
Dude.
armor you got from it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love that. That's my favorite armor in the game. That's my favorite armor in like almost any game.
The what?
The Chinese
There's
stealth armor.
there's a Chinese stealth armor that you can get when you beat Operation Anchorage, and
Oh,
basically what it
okay.
does is when you crouch down, it makes you invisible.
Oh, that's fucking overpowered.
It's beautiful, dude. It's so good. I love that fucking thing.
It doesn't block damage for anything, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It gives
yeah,
you like
still,
it gives you like
though.
a shimmer, and it doesn't necessarily give you like a shitload of sneak. So, but if you had like a high level of sneak while using that thing, you were like,
You're unstoppable.
yeah, you're a god. Basically, it's like level 100 sneak in Skyrim, where like
Wow.
if you crouch in front of someone, then they just won't know where you are.
It was hard to repair it, though, trying to find things to repair it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the repair system in Fallout 3, I liked. I like that repair system. They try to make it overcomplicated in Fallout 4
yeah, where
with
you
all the
have to,
different
like,
parts
gather
and
the
stuff.
Parts, yeah.
No. In Fallout 3,
I mean,
if you have
kinda-
another of the thing, you can just fix it. But then
wouldn't-
it's hard when you don't have another of the
I
thing.
wouldn't mind in Fallout 4 if they kept that idea if it was only for like a survival mode though,
Right.
where like you had to have like each individual part just to make it like even more, you know.
Maybe.
But like Fallout 3, you could just use the shit like wherever.
You know what would make the survival mode better? So just imagine this. Imagine if they had reworked the engine for Fallout 4 and made it to where you could fix up a vehicle of some sort, like a motorcycle or something. That would make the survival mode so much better.
It really would.
Because all that walking is just so dumb.
Yeah.
It's just too much walking. Until you get the vertibird, and then you can use the vertibird signal to have a vertibird come pick you up and take you somewhere else.
Man, I love the Fallout games.
Yeah.
They're so good.
And now, until they broke my heart with 76.
Yeah. But hopefully those updates will make it better.
Well, what are the updates adding to the game?
Like actual
NPCs,
NPCs.
yeah.
Are they? Then maybe I'll pick it up and give it a try.
Yeah, I think like that game is on sale for like $30 everywhere now. Just because like
If they add an actual game to the game.
Yeah,
well, look,
they're
though, a world
like-
where the players are in control.
which is an interesting idea, but they still kind of need.
I feel like it's an interesting idea, but it's them just not programming.
Oh,
the
they knew
game.
it was going to flop. They just needed extra money to fund Star Citizen or whatever. Not Star Citizen. What's that new thing that they're coming out with?
Oh shit!
Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, that was just a
No,
teaser. They were using to fund
they
that.
have a new IP that
yeah,
they're making.
it's this new space thing that they're doing.
Yeah, it's like Fallout in space, basically.
Space Out.
No, it was like Star or something.
Fall
I
Star.
feel like
Fall Livian.
I don't think it has
Fall
fall in it at all.
Spacer Scrolls.
Spacer Scrolls. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? Speaking of that, fucking the original game
It's
of Arena.
It's the Auto Axe that I was thinking of. The one of the melee DLC weapons for the pit. It was the Auto Axe.
I don't remember the Auto Axe. What does that do?
It's basically just a large. You had to hold it with both hands.
Mhm.
It just had a large blade that had like
Oh, it was like
heads
the
on it,
saw
axe
blade
heads,
thing
yeah.
that would just like cut people. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Was the Auto Axe?
This fucking weapons are awesome. Anyway, the first Elder Scrolls game wasn't actually called Elder Scrolls. It was just Arena, and they were making it as like a gladiatorial combat game.
Yeah.
And when they started like actually adding like a shitload of stuff to it, like story wise, they were like, yeah, this is actually turning into like an RPG. And so they kind of changed it a shitload from what they originally said it was going to be. And so their compromise was to call it Elder Scrolls Arena, so that they could make like an entire series from it instead of just like the gladiatorial combat game that they were originally planning.
All right. And they have arena modes, and at least Oblivion.
Yeah.
I don't think Skyrim has an arena that I know of.
Yeah,
No, Skyrim doesn't. They have the Fighters Guild, which kind of took over for that. Which, I mean, it was okay. I liked the arena, and I wish that was still in there.
Yeah.
And there was a Fighters Guild in Oblivion too, wasn't there? Like on the side, like the guild was the arena itself. Was
No,
like
there
a
was
separate
an
thing.
arena, but then there was a Fighters Guild too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, there's like more content in Oblivion.
Well, yeah. I mean, Skyrim's just exploring caves.
It really,
Lackluster
it really is.
combat. Honestly.
Caves and fucking dwarven ruins.
If you want a new version of riveting combat that really feels like it handicaps you a little bit, play a magic user that's not a destruction magic user.
Yeah.
That'll give you a very different view of the game.
Your summoning class or whatever you had.
If you want good combat, you play Resident Evil Outbreak. That's what
the
you
the Conjurer,
fucking slow
where
as shit.
you
combat.
only
no can't. What you
conjure
gotta do-
bodyguards and then conjure your magical weapons or use staves.
You play as a destruction mage, but only use the traps.
Oh. No, that won't work because there's certain enemies they can't get to you anyways, and they're just shooting bows and arrows at you. And and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you'd still be able to use like traps. I mean, not traps, but the stabs and stuff. But your actual magic,
The
is only
most
traps.
underutilized form of magic in the game, traps.
I kind of
one uses.
I kind of hate the traps. They're fucking terrible because they could kill you.
They could kill you. They take time to set, and you need to bait people into it.
Twice.
And it doesn't kill 'em right away.
While you were playing Skyrim.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's a magic level that's just like it sets a magic circle somewhere. You can put them on walls or on the floor or wherever, and if anybody like steps near it, then it just explodes with like the element that you used.
And then,
And
not
it does
to mention,
a fuckload of damage, and you can kill yourself with it.
and not to mention, the game works enough traps into it, anyways, with like hanging lanterns and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
oil slicks and caves and stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that.
get kind of a bad. The traps get a bad rap in that game because you're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, no one fucking uses traps.
Gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
I wish you could like put a bunch of the elements together in a trap, and that would be hilarious.
It's just like a rainbow.
Yeah, dude. Ah, man, I missed the fucking spell crafting that was in Oblivion. That was literally the greatest feature of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Like, imagine being able to set a trap in Skyrim that somebody steps on, and it just summons, like, a bunch of skeletons around that spot, and then they just all attack you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be fucking awesome. Oh, man. I miss Oblivion so much.
Well, you can always go back and play it.
I can, and I will.
I think I own it on PC and...
So do I. I own it
PS3.
on, like, fucking everything.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I at? All right, okay, so yeah, after that, after they put out all the DLCs, they were working on a new Fallout title, Fallout New Vegas, which was actually being worked on by Obsidian Entertainment.
Yep.
And that was published in 2010, and then, of course, Fallout 4 5 years later. And then in September 2009, Bethesda filed a lawsuit against Interplay Entertainment after being unsatisfied with Interplay's development of the Fallout MMO that they were planning on making. So they stopped funding the project, and Interplay was forced to abandon the work on it. So yeah, that is part one of Bethesda.
Well, cool. I don't know. Bethesda's kind of a hit or miss for me. They've acquired some really good companies, though, like id.
Yeah.
And some of these
Yeah,
others that do
that's-
great games.
That's all
in
gonna be
part two.
part
That's
two.
like that was like the year after. Yeah, in 2009 they acquired id.
yeah.
They started doing stuff with them.
Yeah, so two of the games talked about Fallout 3 and Oblivion. I spent a lot of time in and had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, I never even beat Oblivion. I just played the shit out of it.
Man,
I just kept doing the portals.
Yeah, no, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean,
Yeah.
as the portals get harder and harder as you go
Oh,
on.
they
But,
get
but
fucking
whenever
hard.
you're doing a main story quest, you just see that glow and sound off the distance. You know, well, looks like I'm going to be spending my next hour in the fucking plans in Oblivion. Here we go. And then
Yeah.
doing the whole fucking save scum thing where you save right as you're looking at the fucking stone,
The orb at the end,
stone,
yeah.
and then you pick it up, and then you
it
check to
becomes a
see,
different thing.
and you check to see what it does. If you don't want it, then you just fucking.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that shit.
And then you just don't want it, then you just fucking
man.
restart until you get what you want.
You know,
And then back in the day when cheating at a game was knowing how to exploit glitches.
Yeah.
That was like I'm not cheating. I mean,
Yeah, it's like the
It's not
BX.
really
it's like
cheating,
BXR
bro.
in Halo. It's not a cheat. It's just a frame thing. You manipulate.
and I don't know why that it's just the glitchy ass game. So I'm just gonna fucking shoot this orb with an arrow, and then it's gonna multiply by the amount of arrows in my quiver for some fucking reason. Now I just have orbs for days.
Yeah.
And then I can just infuse all sorts of stuff with that.
I liked how they
shit.
had they've kind of created like economies and stuff, and I think that started with Oblivion, where like the games had certain people had certain amounts of money, and then you had the ability to like convince them to pay more for items. Like, it was just very in depth.
Yeah,
with
they created that
The whole
system
meter where you can like convince people to like you by like doing stuff.
or by giving them gold.
yeah.
I love that.
Certain people hate you giving them gold.
Just bribing them, and then you can like watch their facial expressions go from like hating you to being like, "I want your dick."
yeah, that was pretty fun. Especially if it was one of the elves,
Yeah, you just give you
short guys.
a
They would just
quick
be like,
handy on the table and see his facial expression change.
Yeah.
Oh god, the fucking Oblivion games, dude.
Bethesda, though, lots of glitches, obviously.
Yeah, they had a lot of glitches, but fans were definitely willing to tolerate them for the games that they had because of like how much was available to them. Except for in the case of the Red Guard and the Battle Spire, there were too many in those, and they were shorter games, so they couldn't really. They didn't want to tolerate it.
Yeah.
And so they stopped using like procedural generating stuff after Daggerfall. Both Daggerfall and Arena did procedural generation.
Did you ever play Morrowind?
I haven't. on
Did
PC.
Morrowind do the procedural generation?
They used it kind of. So they basically used it to kind of like make the world in the first place, and they kind of just like locked it in, essentially. But with Arena and Daggerfall, they used it so that they like actually handcrafted the towns,
Right.
but then everything else was procedurally.
So
generated.
it's like every time you left a
time,
town, it would just regenerate.
it would become something new.
That's
So
kinda
it would-
weird.
It would give you new roads and things to go explore every time. Which kind of is an interesting concept that I want to
It
play those old
is
games because of that.
interesting, but it could be annoying at the same time. Because
Well,
traveling in between towns and stuff.
The towns would be the same distance away. It would just be like the way you get there would be a little different.
Yeah.
So the towns are like in set places; they wouldn't move.
I feel like I don't know if I'd like a game with procedural generation.
Yeah, that might
nowadays.
be frustrating.
Outside of like
Well,
things
they
like
weren't,
a
like-
well executed No Man's Sky.
They weren't super large. The first game that they made that was like super large, that was supposed to be like 10 square miles, was Morrowind. So they were decent sized in game, but they weren't like super massive, so you couldn't like explore whatever. So them having procedural generation like helped them give you something more to explore
Right.
every time, while their maps weren't like as big as they currently are.
Yeah, well, speaking of No Man's Sky, I think we have to pick that up soon. There's that update that's
Dude,
coming out.
I'm fucking glad that I bought that physically, because now it's still worth as much as I paid for it. Because every time they come out with a new update, they're like, "Oh my god, look, it's $50 again," and I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you."
Oh man, what a story of a developer. Hello Games.
I honestly kind of appreciate that they keep doing that.
You know
now
what?
It's got fucking
You know
online
what?
multiplayer.
I know.
And because that update,
I'm
just
glad he
happened,
didn't
and we
just
should-
take the money and run and disappear for a while. I'm glad he got tons of hate, and yeah, he disappeared for a while. I mean, you kind of have to, and all you're going to get is hate, even if you tell people you're going to be working on it still. I'm still mad that he promised a game that he knew didn't exist, but now he's finally fucking delivering on it. Respectable. Wish he didn't do it this way, but I'm probably going to give it a chance
try it
now.
in VR, because they had that update
Yeah,
along with the
yeah.
online multiplayer.
Well, there are a lot of games I want to try in VR, but
Well, I mean, that one specifically for me, anyway. Because, like, imagine like taking off in that thing and going into space.
that would
fucking-
make flying so much fun.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
And actually make space battles like something you can actually do instead of the fucking shit it was.
Do you not have that anymore?
Have what?
No Man's Sky.
Space fighting?
Do you not have it anymore?
No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
No, I still have it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just gotta download it.
I need to update it.
So I think
we can
Daggerfall might have
play
the
that.
biggest map. Because a guy on YouTube, I guess, he wanted to walk across it on foot, and it took him 70 hours almost.
Jeez.
It's 160,000 square kilometers. It's fucking ridiculous.
160,000 square kilometers.
Yeah, and I think it's like what 1 point. I think it's 3 miles for every 5 kilometers or something like that. So 5K is like just over 3 miles.
It's something, yeah. And I'm not exactly sure. What
So
the
we'd
conversion
be
is.
looking at like 120,000 miles. That's fucking ridiculous.
For a video game, yeah.
Well, is it really that long? Because I mean, there isn't really like a running feature in those older games.
I think that's why it took the guy 70 hours to walk it.
Yeah.
I mean, comparing it to actual country sizes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one had the. I think they said something like that one had the in-game size of the country of Britain.
Yeah.
Is one of the things that like they were promoting it with.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, I remember reading that for some reason. Yeah, I think I might have found the game one time and I was reading that and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the reason that they had to make Morrowind smaller was because they were going to handcraft everything in the game. So, like all the environment and the buildings and everything, they were going to make everything. And Morrowind is actually a lot bigger than like in their like map than they could actually make. So they just made it the like little island bit that's in the middle of Morrowind. So that it's only like part of Morrowind in the game of Morrowind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is 6 going to be in Elsewhere? Isn't that what it is?
And I heard Hammerfell,
A lot of
right?
people are guessing elsewhere.
But didn't they just show us the... Okay.
I'm
So
not
everyone's
sure,
guessing
though.
elsewhere?
A lot of people are. They haven't confirmed anything yet, so nobody actually knows. Yeah, so some of the other games that Bethesda has published up to where we're at in their timeline is Wayne Gretzky Hockey.
No, it is elsewhere.
It is elsewhere.
Yeah.
They confirmed that.
No, that's Elder Scrolls Online.
Well, online is everywhere.
Yeah, online
Yeah.
has like a
It's
shitload
here,
of
there,
places.
elsewhere. You know. Where do you want to go? I
The
don't know.
Black Marsh.
Really, just anywhere
Man,
that's not here.
could you imagine them
Elsewhere?
making like Elder Scrolls Black Marsh and it's literally just like filled with lizards?
I could see him doing anything at this point. I mean, they made a swords game. They made a fucking
Yeah, the fucking Blades thing.
blades, and then they did.
I think that's out on phones now. I should probably try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wayne Gretzky Hockey, to the Terminator series. They made the Elder Scrolls, Symbiocom, Zero Critical, Ira Drag Racing, Pirates of the Caribbean, Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth, Star Trek, Fallout, and then Wet. With the games they have made up to that point in their timeline.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I mean, like I said before, kind of mixed, mostly positive experiences with Bethesda.
The only ones that we've really played have been the Elder Scrolls and then Fallout. I tried playing a little bit of Wet, but it's not what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they've gotten a lot of good IPs from their purchases later in their company's lifespan, and that's helped them out a lot.
Yeah.
But I think Fallout and Elder Scrolls are obviously huge, so
Yeah,
Maybe.
and they have like another studio that they're technically part of, which is ZeniMax Studios, which also makes games.
yeah.
And
ZeniMax is huge.
They make like what did they make? It was Dishonored. They made those games and like a few others, which Bethesda Softworks has published.
Right.
Because Bethesda Softworks is like their publishing company, and then they have like a few game companies that like work under them.
Right, yeah. It's I like it when it's like publishers and developers when they do both.
Yeah.
Because then it has like that in-house feel, you know. There's a lot of games like and I know you know this from the Dragon Quest games, like they're not really made by the same
Square.
directors and like Square. It's just like all
Oh
these
yeah, it's a
random
completely
places.
different company every time.
And it's
in
like,
fact, like one of the companies I was considering of doing a spotlight on level 5 did Dragon Quest 8. So like It's like
Yeah.
not even the same company that made the other ones has like done all of the Dragon Quest games.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and I don't know if that affects it. Like if it doesn't feel.
You know, speaking of, there's like another company that I also wanted to do, which it's Tri-Ace, and they did the 2 Final Fantasy 13 games after OG 13.
Oh yeah.
Which is odd that Square would let anyone else make direct Final Fantasy sequels.
They don't care, man. They'll let them do it.
I guess, yeah, they totally did.
Have you done 13-2 yet?
No, I haven't.
You
I have
should.
to beat 13 before I can
I thought you
move
beat
on.
13.
I'm in Grand Pulse right now. I'm like trying to level up so I can beat it.
Oh, were you just playing it a few years ago?
Yeah,
Oh, well, good luck.
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I don't know. You guys got anything else on Bethesda Part 1?
No, Bethesda Part 1. This is nice, naive Cam, who's still very much in love with Bethesda and what they do.
I had no idea of any of the weird shit that was going on. Like,
And that's
their
back when the-
Weaver guy who like sued the company because he like broke into his coworkers' emails. It's like some intense shit, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, I know these fuckers are after me. And
Back
they,
when
like,
the glitches that you had in the game were charming and just,
man.
made it kind of funny.
Those- Yeah, like-
Instead of the water glitch, it just breaks your game down.
I mean, even the water glitch, you can like avoid it
Kind of.
as long as you don't swim.
Yeah, just don't
If you
fucking
do the
touch
skip
the
on
water.
water thing.
Well,
that
you
the
could
game
go
lets you
in the
do.
water. You just couldn't swim. Like, as soon as it got to the point where you were swimming, then it would freeze. So I had to, like, work around it.
That's why I can't take reviews seriously. They're like 95 out of 100. It's like, yeah, but it didn't work for part of the game. It's like, doesn't matter. 95 out of 100, and I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I
right now?
honestly, I
Like-
couldn't play through the main story because there's a part of the main story in Skyrim where, like, you have to swim into one of the trading companies' like dock ports.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I can't play this part, so I'm just gonna go do extra stuff until they patch it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, it's main story content. I understand if it's like some niche cave, one of thousands of caves that like has a fucking water glitch in it, but like the main story, the whole game, come on,
Yeah.
god damn it. But still pretty good. I don't know. I still like them. I still enjoy watching their E3 presentations to some extent. It's good.
I kind of hope they bring back the charm of Oblivion. Because
Yeah.
Oblivion had a lot more charm than Skyrim. Skyrim is
Skyrim
fun,
just felt,
but they like streamlined
yeah.
pretty
Everything,
much
yeah.
everything to the point where like it no longer felt as
There's like no places to go make discoveries. It was
yeah.
like there's like nothing like you were talking about Oblivion. It's just Oblivion gave you so much of the world of customization.
Oh man, dude,
So-
you could customize your weapons to the point where you could enchant them with any fucking spell. Any fucking spell. And you can make your own fucking spells.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could like basically make a sword that would fucking summon skeletons if you fucking wanted it to. Like what? It's like the greatest thing in the world. Like I made a sword.
It just became too generic in
Dude,
Skyrim.
I
and
literally
even the special weapons. There's no variety in special weapons.
I know. Like they're all the Daedric weapons, and like a lot of them are just models off of the other ones.
Yeah.
The only really unique one was like the Mace of Molag Bal, as far as like looks. And that one's thing was like it just drains their stamina.
Yeah, it wasn't that good to use, so you never
I mean,
really had it.
it was a pretty beastly weapon, but it also wasn't that great. So it's like, and then of course you have like the dagger of like the main Daedra Prince or whatever, and it's like it has a 1% chance to insta kill things. It's like a 1% chance. You're gonna give me like Dagon's razor, and it's gonna just fucking 1% chance, and it's like the shittiest weapon in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
I mean, you might as well have had like a wooden spoon be a weapon, and then have that be like the 1% chance killer, because that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I don't know though. I didn't really find. I don't know. I didn't do a ton of that in Oblivion either.
Well,
with the
Oblivion,
weapons.
Oblivion had shit like there was rings that would let you breathe underwater or even walk on water, and you don't even have that in Skyrim. There's like a
That was my
helmet
favorite
you can
thing to
find
do.
that would let you breathe underwater.
was to get my walk on water ring. Get some town's
Dude.
guardsmen super mad at me.
and then they would
drown
like,
'em.
And then
well,
no, they don't drown; they'd swim, and
yeah,
they can't hit you while
they'd
they're swimming.
swim at you, and they would just like be right up against you because they
then-
couldn't hit you or
Yeah.
attack you, and they would
so
just
you
be
could
like
just
in
you
the
could
middle
just stand
of the water,
there and just like fucking swing at them until
or
they
just
die
like
and steal their
or
stuff.
just plug them full of arrows. It was like the funnest shit being able to do that.
Yeah, I mean they streamlined Skyrim in a lot of ways, but Skyrim also sold like a motherfucker because of it. So
Well, I mean, it was also like the next Elder Scrolls game, and the Elder Scrolls series is huge. Other than those like weird spin-offs that they made,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Oblivion was pretty big too.
Oblivion
It was over
huge.
10 million,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
it was on both consoles and on PC.
But Skyrim's like 30 million copies sold. So
I mean,
honestly,
Skyrim has also been remade for like literally everything.
yeah, I can have Alexa play Skyrim. Like, it's ridiculous, you know.
A very
Yeah.
special edition.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, like, just Oblivion, dude. It's a fucking great game.
Yeah, we should review it.
We should. I want to fucking play Oblivion real bad right now.
Yeah. Well, we got anything else? You guys got anything else you want to add for the week? Any?
Oh man, the fucking Spider-Man shit that's been going on.
Oh,
Does that not
yeah.
piss you guys off?
No, not really. I don't really care.
What?
Yeah, I don't care about superheroes.
It's a bunch of like people defending Disney, being like, "Oh, well, Sony's taking Spider-Man from us."
Well, Sony's had Spider-Man the whole time. They
Yeah,
just let
Spider-Man's
Marvel
had
use.
it the whole time, but like they're like, "Oh, Sony is ruining the MCU." They're like taking our character away from us, and it's like, no, that's not really what's happening. It's Disney.
They only allowed him to use Spider-Man because Spider-Man wasn't part of the MCU because Sony owns the rights to the movies.
Yeah, I know.
And they
Like,
allowed them to make a couple movies with Spider-Man in it for whatever happened behind the scenes, and now they're not.
yeah, it's because Disney wanted fucking more money, and Sony was like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah. I don't know.
we wanna make that money for ourselves. Like, we're not gonna give you a shitload of money so that you can continue using our character and also have the merchandising rights for the movies."
Yeah, and it is their character at this point. Like, they purchased the rights to him, so... Stan Lee's dead, so it's
Yeah.
not his.
And I just like keep seeing people being like, "Oh well, now that Sony has Spider-Man again, it's just gonna be nothing but shitty Spider-Man movies." I'm like, did you quickly forget the fact that they just made Spider-Verse, which is like one of the greatest animated movies in a while, and also the fact that Disney has done nothing in a while. Like, they've just been remaking their fucking old animated movies as live action bullshit that hasn't done very well.
Moana was a pretty good movie. And then what was the one after that? It was shit. I don't know. I don't remember. Was Moana the last?
I think Moana was the last
Big
one.
Disney?
I mean, I guess there's also Wreck-It
Oh,
Ralph.
Coco. Coco was a good one. So they're
That
making
one
good
was
movies.
Pixar, I think, but that's technically part of Disney. But Disney itself is literally just remaking their old
Yeah,
movies. And,
currently, yeah.
dude, they're even remaking fucking Lady and the Tramp for their Disney Plus thing.
Dude,
And they're doing it as a live action movie. And I'm like, why the fuck are you even doing this? Like, why do you hate the people who like your movies?
the one that I don't like is the Cats one. Have you watched that trailer?
No, dude.
Dude, I don't like that.
I saw an image of it, and I was like, I'm staying away from that.
It's fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up.
And I believe it.
I do not want anything to do with that fucking movie when it comes out. It's so wrong.
It's like
It's
a movie
uncanny.
made for fucking furries.
Yeah, I'm not down. I'm not down at all.
You're not down with the furries?
No, it's too much. Too much for me. I'm too vanilla in my orientation towards other human beings. It's a vanilla sex where I like to sleep with humans and not animals, or pretend to be an animal.
It's good.
Yeah. Real minority here.
Yeah. That's the segregation we should have.
Yeah, furries and non-furries.
Yeah.
Make him stand in line at different water fountains.
Yeah.
So the recent releases,
For Disney?
Toy Story 4, like
That's
animated
Pixar.
releases. Oh, is that
Yeah,
just
that's
Pixar?
Pixar too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang
We're
it.
talking just Disney.
Wrong list then. Huh. No.
What? Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the Spider-Man thing, Cameron?
I don't know. So did Sony straight up and say they're not going to allow Marvel to make any more Spider-Man movies in the Marvel
I
universe?
guess they officially made a statement that Spider-Man is no longer part of the MCU. So,
Then yeah, I can understand people being super mad about it because
I mean, yeah, I can understand people being mad, but they have no reason to be blaming Sony. Literally, Disney is one of the most money-grubbing pieces of shit companies in the world.
Well, so
And
I saw one of the arguments.
they would try and take fucking more money from Spider-Man.
I saw
when
an
they
argument.
include Spider-Man and shit like the Avengers, which Sony didn't make any money off of. Well, they made some,
So
but not
here's
anywhere near.
Here's
as
something
much.
funny about how old copyright laws. I saw someone getting mad about, if Spider-Man was following, what copyright laws were, he'd be part of the public domain and either Sony and Disney could use it. Yeah. But the reason why copyright laws on certain things like Spider-Man are the way they are now is because of Disney and Mickey Mouse. Disney is the one that made it what it is today. And now Disney's reaping the benefits of that with Sony going, well, it's still our copyright, and it's what it is. And Disney is the one who made it that way. It's
Yeah.
their fault.
Yeah.
Um,
They also fucking only bought freaking Fox just so they could get back the X-Men. So
Yeah.
they're kind of like assholes. And I've seen people being like, well, now they could just buy Sony so they can get back Spider-Man. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, no.
oh, can you imagine if Disney owned Sony
It would be awful.
and what it would do to the video game
It
industry?
would be awful.
The PlayStation
Dude.
is separate from Sony, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it is
They
a
have a
technically
separate
separate company now.
'Cause
They
they were afraid
separated it like
Sony-
it was like last year they did that.
Yeah, it was a few years back because Sony was doing really badly for a while, and they
Yeah,
didn't
so
want
they made the
to-
PlayStation company be by itself.
Yeah, but still, it would affect a lot of things because Sony does a lot of things.
Yeah, but what does that mean
It would
to
probably be Sony Pictures that they would buy. They wouldn't just buy Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that'd be crazy.
what would that mean for any current MCU movies right now that are in the development that had Spider-Man in it?
Well, I don't think any of them did. They were mostly standalone movies,
They
as
were
far as I could see from the their lineup. Because they like to tell you 20 years in advance what they're doing.
Yeah, it's so dumb, especially when they're like, "Oh yeah, next big movie's coming," but also right after that is another Spider-Man movie. It's like, well, didn't Spider-Man die in the first one? They're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
well,
then they're
thanks
like,
for
"Oh
spoiling
yeah,
it, you
yeah.
fucking idiots.
So he comes back.
You're like, well, didn't you read the comics? It's like, well, no, that's why I'm watching the movies.
Well, also they have like nothing to do with the comics. They're
Exactly,
completely
so it's
different
like,
every single way.
What? Yeah, I don't understand doing that. I don't understand, like...
No, but I can understand that people are super angry that they're taking the current iteration of Spider-Man away.
I mean, I could understand being upset, but most of the people that I see talking about it are those fucking weirdo fans that are like, "Oh yeah, Iron Man and Captain America are like a couple, and Spider-Man is like their child," and la la la, and like it's those weird fucking fangirly people, and it's awful, dude. Those are the ones that are the most like angry at Sony. They're like, "Oh, it's Sony's fault." I'm like, "No, it's really not." It's like I hate fucking reading that shit, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just like a bunch of people who don't understand. They're like, well, Disney is fucking evil. Like, how do you forget this? Like, are you serious? Disney fucking, when they bought out Star Wars, they closed down the video game making company that LucasArts had and fucking gave the entirety of the video game making rights for Star Wars to EA, like one of the most other evil companies. Like, okay, that's cool. Let's just ruin Star Wars in every conceivable way.
Well, true. They really wanted to give it to DICE. But to do that, they had to go to EA to get to DICE.
Well, I mean, DICE would only be making like first-person shooters. Like if you want
DICE made
everything.
the Star Wars Battlefront games.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's where
DICE
the
makes
games
first-person
went.
shooters, but we're talking like the entirety of Star Wars.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they
all
have.
Star Wars properties now belong to EA for video game-wise.
Yeah,
They have the solo rights to that. No one else can make a Star Wars game if they
Han
want.
Solo rights.
Yeah,
So Smuggler needs to make some games.
it's fucking awful.
yeah, that is kind
They
of
should
shitty.
they should not have done that.
That is kind of not cool. I get taking the movies away, but not the games.
Yeah, they closed down the company that made the games. They're like, yeah, fuck them, and then we're just gonna sell the rights to EA because they want it.
Yeah. I don't know.
And we just learned that EA was total douchebags and stole Madden, basically.
Exactly, yeah. They stole that
That's
stuff.
just one.
They steal everything they own, dude.
That's just a one small crime on a long list of crimes.
Well, that
they've
was right
committed.
when the EA was starting out too, because they
Mhm.
broke into the sports industry for video games with Madden.
Mm.
So
Well, there you
they
go.
started their career on a fucking crime.
Yeah.
Was it a crime though?
Well, I mean, they got sued for it. So
They
didn't
went.
get
They
sued
settled
for
out
it.
of
They
court.
settled
yeah.
out of court.
That's
eh,
different.
That's admitting guilt, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's
Settling out of
sometimes-
court is not admitting guilt.
Settling out of court means that we accept that we did this, and we're just going to
Not
pay
always.
you money.
No.
Sometimes it's just easier to pay the
It
money.
is. Sometimes they don't want a title. So this is why they would do that. If they're getting sued
Yeah,
by
it's still
Bethesda,
admission
they wouldn't be
guilt.
able to publish a game while that particular title is being disputed, and so they'll settle outside of court in order to not have their property tied up in legal disputes, so they can still make money. That's why people settle out of court.
Yeah, well, they would have fucking lost. And we know it.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
I don't know. It depends on the contract that Bethesda sold Gridlock to EA.
Gridiron.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like they got the
Gridiron.
distribution rights, and they got the program they had for the physics engine.
Because if they sold EA the physics engine,
they gave them the physics engine in order, like as
If they
a side thing
gave
for them to
Gridiron to EA in order for them to develop, and now EA owns the technology, it is their right to use it in any game. I'm pretty sure
No.
the reason why they got mad and were going to sue them is because they didn't
No,
keep
what it was
selling
is like
Gridiron.
they gave them the physics engine for Gridiron as a kind of payment to publish Gridiron and its sequels on multiple consoles, and then EA just never did it. They stole the fucking.
If EA owned the technology, they can use it for whatever game they want to. But if the agreement was to also publish,
Yeah, they had to
Gridiron,
make the games,
But-
and then they didn't make the games. So they took the payment without doing what they were asked to do, which is why they were getting sued. That was the whole thing.
No, they settled out of court. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But we do know.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's everything. Unless you have something to say on Spider-Man.
No. It's whatever.
Yeah, I just think it's stupid. No reason to get angry at Sony for doing something that was totally fine.
Well, besides, the first two Spider-Man movies that Sony made were great, so...
Yeah, and even the fucking Andrew Garfield ones made money and are at a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, so they're not absolute trash.
Yeah, I've never watched those, so I don't know.
I only watched the first one, and it wasn't too bad.
It's hard for me to see Andrew Garfield in anything other than Hacksaw Ridge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty funny in that movie with his accent. He's pretty ridiculous.
Why?
movie's
Does he-
fucking
Does he have a
awesome.
British accent or
No,
something?
it's
he has a Southern boy
Yeah.
accent that sounds just a bit off.
Yeah.
He's British, isn't he?
Andrew
I don't
Garfield?
know.
Yeah, I think he is.
It's all about Vince Vaughn in that movie, though. He's fucking hardcore.
Dude.
It's so cool.
The fucking human meat shield.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everyone should watch that movie. You should go watch that instead of watching lame superhero movies. How about that? How about instead of watching the same mediocrity 1,000 times over again?
They do just keep putting out the same movie too. That's
You just watch a good
That's
one.
like the worst part.
Yeah, and it's like varying qualities
that's
of
the
that
reason.
movie.
That's the reason that there's like fucking superhero
So,
fatigue.
Andrew Garfield is an American born in Los Angeles, but his he has dual citizenship, British and American.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remember reading something like that, so I thought he was British.
Yeah, it's varying levels of quality of the same movie.
Yeah.
Whenever it's their origin movie.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, their exact formula was taken from the first Spider-Man movie, which Sony made.
Yeah, yeah. They
Which
did.
they copied for Iron Man, which was copied for Captain America, which was copied for, fucking every origin movie that they made.
Yeah, it's weird because the Batman movies used to just focus on his origin for like 2 seconds, and be like, oh, here's a flashback to his parents dying, and then they just move on. But these ones, it's like about the origin story, and it's like always the origin story. It's like Captain Marvel, origin story. Spider-Man, origin story. Like Iron Man, origin story. A whole fucking movie of origin, and it's like, can't you just get it over with in a scene? Like, isn't that enough? These are established heroes. Like,
Yeah,
come
but
on.
most people don't know the origin of those characters.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
in a way, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like you get really burned out when you're like making the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, although I don't know if that fatigue
there's different ways to make an origin story without it being the exact same. So
I mean, is the
Just like the new
there
origin
fatigue?
story of the Joker.
God damn it, dude!
It's a new take on it. It's just fine, Craig.
I don't like it at all. I don't like I don't like it. It just looks bad.
What if it's a critically acclaimed movie because it's
I
a
don't-
good movie?
I don't like them separating the Joker like that. I just don't care for that idea. Because the entirety of the Joker, at least for his character, is his opposition to Batman. Because Batman becomes like his obsession. So it's like you're going to do a separate movie from Batman about a character whose like one obsession in life is corrupting a character who's not going to be in that character's life.
What if
So it's like,
what if they're telling a story of a realistic
then it's not
way
the
for
Joker.
a person to break down and become
Then
the
do
Joker?
something that's not the Joker. Like, what the fuck?
But because
They're taking
he
the
is
Joker's
Joker
name, Cam.
to sell movies,
They're taking the Joker's name to sell the movie.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They could make this exact same movie and not call him the Joker. And then it would be something completely
And what if
different.
they call them the clown?
or the prankster,
Obviously, it would be. I mean, oh my god,
the
dude, there-
trickster.
There is a trickster, by the way, and it is like the exact same thing as the Joker, and he's a Flash villain.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The so Avengers Endgame, $2.7 billion worldwide. I don't know if there's any fatigue. Per
Well,
se.
people are still gonna go see them. They're like obsessed with these movies, but like everybody's still like, maybe not make a superhero movie every year because they pump out like 3 a year.
Isn't it more than 3 a year? No, maybe it's 3 a year.
I think it's about 3 a year.
It seems like a lot, which is weird because it doesn't. When you look at it that way, it doesn't seem like it's that
Well,
much.
let's see.
but
They had Endgame this year so far, and Spider-Man, and
Captain Marvel.
was Captain Marvel this year?
I believe so,
Was it
yeah.
earlier this year then? Because it's already out on DVD, I think.
Yeah, I think it was earlier this year.
Yeah. And then last year was like Infinity War and fucking. When was Black Panther?
That was last year.
Was that last year too with Infinity War?
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. Yeah, so it's like it's a 2 or 3 a year at least.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot. It's a little bit much.
Yeah. And they got like, oh man, they have fucking, isn't that Thor movie coming out this year?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like what,
think-
4 this year now?
I think so.
Of course, that new... Wait, Star Wars is coming out this year, right? Episode 9? Or is that next year?
I think it's next year.
Because they said they were going to stop constantly making Star Wars movies, which is good. Huh. Yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah, but
but them getting rid of Spider-Man honestly doesn't really hurt them. I know they only obsess about it because of fucking... Because they're like, oh, well, he's the new Iron Man, and he's like Iron Man's child, But they have, like, Marvel has so many fucking characters, especially now that they have Fox again, and they can put, like, Deadpool and other, like, X-Men in the Marvel universe. Like, they have no want for characters. They have, like, a shitload. So, they shouldn't really be complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it would suck, but I mean, you have to hold on to those intellectual rights if you want it to not suck.
They should have made more than a 6-movie contract if they were going to make Spider-Man like such an integral part of their fucking universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it would be... Yeah, they would have known about this for a while then. It wouldn't have just been coming out right now.
Yeah.
Unless they just barely went to go back to make another contract for a few more movies.
Well, I think
and then they were
that's
surprised.
What was happening is they were making a new contract and they were asking for more money, and Sony was like, no. Because in their current deal, Sony was like putting up most of the money or nearly all of the money for the Spider-Man movies, and they gave Marvel or Disney the rights to merchandise the movies, which Sony also had. And then they also got the rights to money from, like, theme park rides and shit. So, like, Sony was only making the monies off of the solo Spider-Man movies because Spider-Man was also being in the crossover movies, which Marvel and Disney were the ones making the money on that. So it's like, yeah, I could see why Sony would want to keep most of their money, for those solo Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know anything about the deal, though, so I can't really say. I don't know. I'm kind of just burned out with superhero stuff.
Yeah, me too. Even though I love superhero movies, I would like them to slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, DC being like, yeah, we're going to come out with a Batman movie every, like, 2 months in the near future. And I'm like, I don't really want that.
Yeah. Well, Hog League. I think I'm going to do the draft on Twitter this week, so team captains, look out for that. Going to start drafting our players for the next season, get that going, and whenever we finish the draft, we'll just start up the next run.
Wait, what? We're captains again?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be...
Yeah, make me just like a player.
Yeah, well, you don't log it anyway, so...
I mean, I do. I just haven't in the last, like, month. Cause
why don't you want to be a captain?
Because it's been all fucky, and I didn't even know I was in the last fucking... I didn't even know I was in the playoffs.
Yeah, everyone was in the playoffs. Because there were like
it
was like a 7-way tie.
I was in the Final Four until you, like, mentioned it. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like a 7-way tie for last place, so everyone went. Well, I mean, that's why you should just listen. Listen to the episodes, man.
Listen to the episodes that I just recorded.
Well, you didn't record that part.
No, I didn't, but I had no reason to listen to it.
You did. The reason was...
I thought I was out, like, immediately, because I only won the one thing that I knew of.
No, yeah, we had a huge tie for last place, so a bunch of people went. I just did everybody to the playoffs. You guys... Well, we can try to find team captains if you guys don't want to do it. I want to do it still, because... I don't want someone else to have to do it. So
I think we should wait a week and then have whoever wants to be a captain message you.
I just feel like it's better for listeners to take charge of it.
That way we get, like, the volunteers.
Is it? Mm-hmm. It's better for them to do our things.
No, it's a community effort to get them more engaged.
All right. If you guys want to, you can. I'm going to keep mine, but...
All right.
So anyone that wants to do it, hit us up on Twitter, and we'll get that going, and we'll do the draft when we have some more team captains. And if anyone else wants to give up their spot as well, we can do that, and we'll make it work. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for us this week, guys. Thanks for hanging out, talking Bethesda, talking Spider-Man. We will see you guys again next week.
Enjoy the nude.
Time to get good.
Live always in the nude.
Yeah!